Attention passionate Toronto, Maple Leafs Fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Toronto Maple Leafs' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Toronto Maple Leafs fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Toronto, Maple LEAFS FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you're following the NHL and especially the Leafs, you know that this offseason is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent memory. The team is at a crossroads, looking to build on their deep playoff run last year, but also aware that some adjustments are necessary to push even further. And I can tell you, the buzz around Toronto is intense, with rumors swirling about potential trades, strategic moves, and the kind of roster shakeups that could redefine their future. Now, one of the most talked about scenarios involves a hypothetical trade that has fans and analysts alike talking for days. According to Puckpedia's innovative PuckGM tool, which allows users to simulate trades and see how they might impact teams, there's a compelling proposal on the table that could very well become reality. This trade would see the Maple Leafs acquiring Filip Hronek, the talented defenseman from the Vancouver Canucks. And let me tell you, this isn't just about adding another name to the roster. It's about strategic positioning, about finding that perfect balance of offense and defense that can make the difference when the playoffs roll around again. So, what's the scoop? Well, in this scenario, Toronto would send 2 NHL players to Vancouver, specifically, a package that includes a defenseman and a forward, both of whom could benefit from a change of scenery. The player involved in the trade for Vancouver would be none other than Morgan Rielly, a name every Leafs fan knows well. Rielly, a native of British Columbia, has been a cornerstone of the Leafs' blue line for over a decade. He's a player with a wealth of experience, known for his offensive contributions from the blue line, his leadership, and his incredible durability. Last season, he posted 7 goals and 34 assists, totaling 41 points in 82 games. He's the kind of guy who can jumpstart your power play, help control the pace of the game from the back end, and bring that steady presence in big moments. But here's the twist. Rielly has a full no-movement clause, and he's made it crystal clear that he doesn't want to be traded. That's a big deal in NHL circles, because it means any move involving him would require his approval, and he's been very vocal about wanting to stay in Toronto. But despite his clear stance, NHL insiders like Frank Saravalli have suggested that the Leafs might consider trading Rielly if the right offer comes along, especially if it means upgrading the defense in other ways or creating cap flexibility. Saravalli pointed out that Toronto needs a puck-moving defenseman, someone who can help them get out of trouble more efficiently, who can exit the zone with more ease and help set up offensive transitions. Rielly, while offensively gifted, has shown signs of slowing down and isn't quite the quarterback on the power play that he used to be. It's not that he's not effective, but the game has evolved, and the Leafs are looking for a defenseman who can push the pace even more. On the other side of this hypothetical trade, the Maple Leafs would acquire Filip Hronek, a right-shot defenseman known for his mobility, size, and offensive instincts. Hronek, who's just entering his second year of an 8-year, $58 million deal, is a player who can be a reliable second-pair defenseman, helping to solidify the backend. Last season, he recorded 5 goals and 28 assists, totaling 33 points in 61 games. That's respectable production for a defenseman, especially one who can skate well and contribute to the attack. His style fits the modern NHL perfectly, fast, mobile, and capable of generating offense from the blue line. Plus, at 6 feet tall, he's got the size to handle the physical aspects of the game, making him a versatile asset. Now, in this scenario, the Canucks would also pick up Alex Kerfoot, a versatile forward and pending restricted free agent, and Wayne Robertson, a young prospect who's been somewhat underutilized in Toronto. Robertson, who's 22 years old, has shown flashes of offensive potential, scoring 15 goals and adding 7 assists in 69 games last season. A change of scenery could do him good, giving him a fresh start in Vancouver, where he might get more ice time and opportunities to develop into a middle six winger. This hypothetical deal makes a lot of sense from a strategic point of view, especially considering how Toronto's GM, Brad Treliving, is thinking about the team's future. After the Leafs' early playoff exit last year, losing in the second round to a tough opponent, Treliving made it clear that some DNA changes were needed. While he expressed confidence in the team's defense core, he also admitted that they need more offensive punch from the back end. His comments about the team's makeup suggest that he's looking for a little more volume, a little more offensive juice from his defensemen, without sacrificing the stability that the current core provides. Treliving has been busy rebuilding the Leafs' defense over the past year, bringing in veteran leaders like Chris Tanev and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, players who bring stability, leadership, and experience. But with the NHL's evolution towards faster, more dynamic defensemen, the Leafs are clearly looking for that next step, someone who can move the puck, activate the offense, and help the team transition smoothly from defense to attack. And that's where Filip Hronek fits in perfectly. He's young, mobile, and possesses the offensive instincts that Treliving wants in his defensemen. The question is whether the Leafs are willing to part ways with Morgan Rielly, a player who has been a fan favorite and a leader in the locker room for years. It's a tough decision, no doubt about it. Rielly's leadership, experience, and familiarity with the team give him a unique place in Toronto's heart. But hockey is a business, and sometimes, to get better, you have to make difficult choices. Looking at the broader picture, the Maple Leafs' blue line is currently anchored by a core of talented veterans: Chris Tanev, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Brandon Carlo, and Morgan Rielly. Each of these players brings something different to the table, but the team needs that extra offensive punch on the blue line to be truly competitive. If a move like this hypothetical trade were to happen, it could be the catalyst for a more dynamic, puck-moving defense core that could help the Leafs take that next step and contend more seriously for the Stanley Cup. Of course, there are questions. Is Rielly willing to waive his no-movement clause? Will the Canucks see Hronek as the upgrade they need on their blue line? And what about the chemistry and locker room dynamics? These are all factors that management will have to weigh carefully. But one thing is clear: Toronto is not standing still. They've shown a willingness to shake things up, to adapt, and to push for that championship. That's what fans love to see, isn't it? The ambition, the strategic moves, the willingness to do whatever it takes to bring that coveted Stanley Cup back to Toronto. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The Leafs are in a prime window. Their core of Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, and John Tavares is still in their prime, and they're hungry for that elusive championship. The team has been close, consistently pushing deep into the playoffs, but falling just short. Last year's second-round exit was a reminder that they need to elevate their game, especially on defense. And that's why moves like acquiring Hronek could be pivotal. They could provide that extra offensive punch, that extra layer of depth that push the team needs to finally break through. Plus, Toronto's management is known for being aggressive in the offseason. Treliving and his team are constantly analyzing the roster, looking for ways to improve, and not shying away from making bold moves. This hypothetical trade aligns perfectly with their philosophy, adding a young, talented defenseman like Hronek, while potentially moving out a veteran who might be on the decline or seeking a new chapter. It's all about finding that perfect balance between experience and youth, offense and defense, stability and upside. And as fans, we can't help but get excited about the possibilities. The NHL offseason is a time for intrigue, speculation, and hope. Every rumor, every trade proposal, every sign that management is working behind the scenes fuels that fire of hope that this could be the year Toronto finally busts through and claims that Stanley Cup. But we also know that hockey is unpredictable. Sometimes these moves work out beautifully, and sometimes they don't. But that's part of what makes following the sport so thrilling. So looking ahead, what should fans be watching for? Keep an eye on official announcements from the Leafs and the Canucks. Watch for any official rumors or news leaks that indicate real movement. And stay tuned, because the offseason is just heating up. The draft, free agency, trade rumors, everything is on the table. And if Toronto makes a move like acquiring Filip Hronek or something similar, it could be the game changer that fans have been waiting for. The team's future is bright, but it's also full of possibilities. The management is clearly motivated to push the envelope, to make bold decisions, and to build a roster capable of bringing that elusive Stanley Cup back to Toronto. And as passionate fans, That's what we want, isn't it? A team that's aggressive, smart, and hungry for victory. We're all in this together, dreaming of those glorious nights in June when the Maple Leafs finally lift Lord Stanley's Cup once again. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Toronto Maple Leafs news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Toronto Maple Leafs fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the team should pursue a trade like this? Would you be willing to see Morgan really move on if it meant bringing in someone like Philip Hronek and upgrading the blue line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Leafs. This is what makes our community special, sharing thoughts, debating strategies, celebrating wins, and enduring setbacks together. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Toronto Maple Leafs news. Whether it's rumors, trades, signings, or game analysis, we've got you covered. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, let's keep that passion alive. Go Leafs go!